Hello guys, how are you? Welcome again to our new streaming from the channel of Carloncho, of course, of me. All the way from here, from Phuket to Singapore. Flight time is going to be 1 hour and 27 minutes, and we're going to be cruising at level 350, guys. Thank you very much for your following, for your questions, and you are very much welcome in the channel to ask whatever you need in order to help you to make your simulation more easy. Right today, of course, as every day with the friends of FlySim Chile, we have 777s, British British Airways as well, and another 320 right over there. We're all connected, so please follow us to Singapore. Eso, amigos, bienvenidos nuevamente al canal de Carloncho. El día de hoy, en una nueva entrega, vamos a despegar acá desde Phuket hacia Singapur. Tiempo de vuelo 1 hora con 27 minutos, bastante corto. Y nivel de vuelo 350. Los invito por favor a que me sigan. Si tienen preguntas en español, por favor me paran, me preguntan en el chat y yo las respondo inmediatamente, no hay problema. Y eso, bienvenido, obviamente. Como todos los días, con sus preguntas, con sus inquietudes, para hacer sus vuelos más entretenidos. Okay? So, guys, we're going to start with the basics, right? We are going to start with the preliminary cockpit preparation, which is, we set these ones to navigation, inertial reference system, left, center, and right. We arm the emergency lights. We're gonna set the navigation light to on. That one is always on. There's a little bit of rain. When we pass through this screen, we check two things. We check the engine. Oh, what the hell happened? Oh, there we go. I just slew the airplane, so I think the airplane doesn't like to be slew. To be move. Anyway, okay. So we have this one. Okay, so. We come here, engines, and we check the oil quantity, which is perfect. Now we check the status, and we check the hydraulic quantity. If we need to fill this one up, it will be the number and an overfill mark here next to the indication. If this is overfill, it's going to be an overfill as well, okay? When it says nothing, it means like normal operation, so everything is ready to go. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay, great. So oxygen as well. We check the oxygen, 1,840 psi, which is normal. Now we go here. Oops, I don't know why it was there. You see, that's why we do these checks. Speed brake is up. Maybe I move it with the chair. Flap is up. Fuel control switches are cut off. Parking brake we're gonna go to set. And that's it for the preliminary cockpit preparation. Now the first thing that we do, first of all, of course, we check the indications of the logbook, certificates, aero navigability, noise, insurance, everything, emergency items, of course, as well. And once we have been here, we do the whole preliminary cockpit preparation, and then we just ask for the weather, so we can start to program everything here in the FMC. So we're gonna hear that one. Okay, so we have the conditions right now. So the QNH is going to be 1011. So we're going to check that QNH right over here. And it's going to be with light rain. And the visibility is more than 10 kilometers. And we have a few at 2,000 feet and broken at 10,000 feet. Okay, so with those conditions, most probably when I use runway 09, which is right over there. So we're going to start to program everything here. So we go to FMC. We have to talk about this like many times. So we just check basically the database here, which is okay, 747, the engines, everything looks good. So now in this page, oops, it's too loud. Victor Tango Sierra Papa, which is the airport, and we just take the GPS position and we set this one over here. Okay, now we go again to Victor Tango Sierra Papa, which is Phuket, and we go to Singapore, okay, which is Whiskey Sierra Sierra Sierra. This is the cargo logs 705, and now we are done with this one. Now next, we're gonna go here to data link, and everything that we have set here, we're gonna set in this one as well. So we go pre-flight, and we set Victor Tango Sierra Papa to Singapore, Whiskey Sierra Sierra Sierra. Okay, departure. We're gonna try at 9:30. So 0930. Okay, perfect. And the estimate time en route is going to be 1 hour and 27 minutes. So 1 hour and 27 minutes. That's great. So now we have everything, and we just need the code of the airline, which is right over here, Charlie Victor, for cargo logs. And we set this one here. So now everything is populated. So now we go and we hit the data link connect. So we have data link sync. Okay. So now we go back to our first FMC left from the captain side, and we go to route select 747. We select the route, and we just wait for the data link to be connected, so we can extract our flight plan from the servers. Okay. The communication between the company and the airplane is done by the VHF center, which is already connected on data. Okay. It's a special frequency just for. So now it's connected. I'm gonna hit request, and now request sending. That is a special frequency just meant basically to have data transfer between the company and the airline. I'm sorry, and the airplane. Okay, so we have the route it has been uplink. Now we hit load. Zanahoria, hola, ¿cómo estás? ¿Todo bien? Bienvenido. So now we hit uplink, route 1 uplink loading. We can clear this message. We can go to the next page, and now we have everything right over here. So let's cross check the route for very quickly. So we have Reved Bravo 579 to position Victor Papa Lima, then Whiskey 531 to Victor India Hotel, Romeo 325 to position Reduk, then direct to Amara, and then we transition for the arrival. Okay, so we're gonna clear this message. Perch Infinite. I'm not gonna uplink that one. I'm gonna go for departure from Phuket. So I select the first line, and then I'm gonna select runway 09, and the departure is the Rebel 1 Alpha. So Rebel 1 Alpha, which is this one. Now we go to route, and we check that there is no discontinuities. So everything is perfectly done. You know, like we don't have like something that doesn't match. Okay, so now we have Arama, and in Arama we're gonna do the ILS to runway 02 left via transition. I think it's not a PIPA. I think it's something different. I think it's Samco, but let me see the star. Yeah, it's Samco. So I'm not gonna put any transition, and I'm gonna do the Arama 1 Alpha to runway
Phuket traffic, Sierra Bravo Kilo, pushing back gate 10 Phuket traffic.
So Samco, wait. I think I will have to put the auto transition. Okay, so ILS, APIPA. Now I'm gonna go to route again. Okay, APIPA, we have it. Okay, so let me check. So we are going to transition to this point, Samco, and from Samco, basically we fly to APIPA, so which is almost the same. So I'm gonna put this one together. Okay, so let me see how that looks. Okay, we go here to flight plan, and yeah, it's like boop boop boop, something like. I don't know what the hell they do it like that. Okay, let me first, if this one, yeah, runway 02 left, and this is ILS for runway 02 left as well. That's kind of weird. Kind of weird transition, actually. I have never been in Singapore, to be honest. Capers Golf, hello man, how you doing? Welcome aboard. Today from Phuket all the way to Singapore. Okay, well, anyway, it's there. So we're gonna activate. As you can see here, the route is in blue. It's in cyan, actually, the color that Boeing wants to likes to say. So in order to have navigation, for example, I think somebody was asking me like a couple of days ago why my LNAV is not, it doesn't work. Well, this is one of the reasons, because your route in this moment is not activate until you execute here. So you're gonna press activate, and you see that this line is illuminated. So now you hit activate, and now it says active route 1. Now the route changed from here to magenta line. Okay, so that means that the route is active. Now actually we can engage LNAV if we want to. Okay, so now that we have everything done, what we're going to do is we're gonna go to progress page, and we're gonna check the track miles. Okay, so in our FMS we have 588 nautical miles, but here in our flight plan we have 586. I just missed 2 nautical miles, which is perfect because it means that there is no gross errors between the FMS and the flight plan. That is something that we always do in our checks as pilots. Okay. Then later on we continue to NavRad, and we check that everything here is in automatic or manually if we need something extra. In this case we have Victor Papa Lima, which is required for the departure. Okay. If you don't believe me, I'm gonna show you the chart. And it says this is the departure, but actually is we don't need this VOR, but anyway, at least for the navigation of the airplane is required. If I want to put Victor Papa Lima in manually mode, I put Victor Papa Lima, and I put this one here, and this is changed to M, Mike, which means manual. Okay, if I put this one to delete again, the airplane is back again with the auto tuning of the navigation, and set this VOR as required for the initial part of the flight. Okay. ¿Sabes por qué va a descontinuar el A380? Es que el 380 es un avión que no es muy efectivo hoy día, porque es un avión que gasta mucho combustible, y hoy día hay aviones que con 2 motores pueden hacer el trabajo de un avión que hace 4 motores. Eso obviamente genera mayores gastos a las líneas aéreas. Entonces el 380 no es un avión que sea un avión económico de operar. Por eso se descontinúa. Todo va y depende del mercado. Si las líneas aéreas no quieren el 380, la única línea aérea en el mundo que quiere el 380 es Emirates, pero Emirates funciona bajo otros parámetros. Las demás líneas aéreas no pueden mantener un 380 y llenarlo y hacer negocio con un avión que es muy costoso de operar. Esa es la razón, básicamente. Okay, so we go to init-ref. I'm going to reject this. And now that we are in this page, I'm just going to set everything for our flight. Okay, I'm going to go with fuel. And let's start with our fuel, okay? So our fuel for today, just very quickly, the trip fuel is Singapore is going to be
Qatar 088, pushing back
15 tons, 15.5. Time is going to be 1 hour and 27 minutes. The contingency is going to be 20 minutes. And the fuel is going to be 3.5. The alternative that we have today is Kuala Lumpur. That's 7.3 tons. And it's going to take us 40 minutes to get there from Singapore to Kuala Lumpur. The final reserve, this one is almost 5 tons. That means that if I touch these 5 tons, if I have 5 tons in my fuel tanks, I have to declare the emergency. Okay? That is 4,959. We have a minimum takeoff fuel, of course. Extra. I didn't put any extra fuel today. Are you a real pilot? Yes, I am. Takeoff fuel is 31 tons, approximately. And the taxi fuel is almost 900 kilos, which are going to give us a taxi time of 20 minutes. So with that, we have a total block fuel time, total block fuel of 32,269 kilos of fuel. So that's what we're going to set here, 32269. So we're going to hit that one here. So now we have our fuel. Now we go to return, and we go here to payload. In payload, what we're going to do is we're gonna go here to the zero fuel weight and we're gonna insert that here. So our zero fuel weight for today is 311.9. So we set that here in the zero fuel weight. You see that like the airplane is doing like this because it started to feel the weight. Our gross weight, considering the zero fuel weight plus the fuel that we have, is saying that we have a gross weight, a total weight of the airplane of 344.2. And here we have a takeoff weight during the takeoff, okay, 343.2. We have a difference between this number and this number, like of 1 ton. Why is that? Where's that 1 ton of fuel? Well, very simple. You come here in the fuel that I already discussed with you guys, and you will see that the taxi fuel from Phuket is 900 kilos. So what is saying me this? That this weight minus 900 kilos, which is my taxi out fuel, that the taxi that I'm gonna burn to line up with the runway here in Phuket, is gonna be 1 ton more or less than that fuel. So that's my takeoff weight. So that's why I have a difference of 1 ton between this one and what I have here in my fly pan. I hope that makes sense, okay? I'm making ortho scenario. What does that mean? Okay, so now that we have this done with data link already, I'm going to clear that message. So we have the zero fuel weight is going to be 311.9. So we set that one here. The reserve for today is going to be the summatory of this fuel and this fuel. And oh my god, this iPad sometimes just get crazy. And those 2 fuels, okay? So in order to do that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to do the math on that because are not very straightforward numbers. So it's 7375 and plus 4959. That will give me a total of 12,334 tons. So when I'm gonna go 12.4. Okay, perfect. And the cruise level is gonna be for level 350. The Cox index is 40, as you can see there. It's 40, so we set 40 here. And the step size, I'm just gonna put 2,000 here. So my airplane is going to start to calculate and a climb to flight level 370 eventually, if we can do it or not. Then we go to thrust limit page, and we check that this temperature, 24 degrees, is the same that we have here. So we have 24 degrees, which is perfect. Now we go to takeoff, and that's it. Okay, better ground for X-plane makes it looks more realistic. Ah, amazing, man. Like, where are you, a developer or something? Okay, so now that we have everything there, what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with the overhead panel. I have done this like so many times, guys, so I'm going to go fast this time. This is the only important thing. Of course, all these lights are going to be in amber because the engines are not running, so we don't have nothing basically connected. But the most important thing is to be, at least with the demand, hydraulic power in off, okay? Because these ones are electrical. So right now I have external power connected, so if I put this one in on, if I put this one, it doesn't come on. Ah, great, PMDG. Okay, it doesn't come on anyway. But anyway, all this has to be in off position, okay? Now, maybe with APU. I'm gonna start the APU. I'm gonna show you that one later, guys. Okay, these lights are off.
Forget traffic. Hello everyone.
Emergency lights is off. Engine fire switches are all inside. APU is off as well. Cargo fire system is of course is not in use. Engine start switches are running normal. Jettison system is off. Fuel pumps, these ones are off, and the fuel transfer feed just gonna close it because it's not gonna be in. We don't need those ones. I'm not a developer. It doesn't it says or seem brief what your reserves are. No, not really. You have to calculate those ones. Your reserve, well, it depends on the company procedures, but the most important thing to do
is
forget traffic. Is to know your fuel. when you're gonna land in Singapore, you need to know which is gonna be your fuel to divert, in this case, to Kuala Lumpur, and to know how much fuel is your reserve, which is the 30 minutes. Of course, you have your 30 minutes over there. You can read it from here, as you can see here. But I don't want to do that because I want to reserve that fuel also for my alternative. So what we usually do is we add these two fuels, this one and this one, at the same time. And that is the figure that actually we insert in the FMS, because we need to know at which moment of which amount of fuel we have to take our decision, basically to divert or to commit to land in Singapore. I don't know if that makes sense. Can you fly a 738? I have never flown a 737 in real life, but I'm a Boeing pilot, so more or less all the airplanes are the same philosophy. So definitely I can fly. I have done some streams on the 737. No issues at all. Okay, guys. So the engine anti-ice is in auto. Wind anti-ice is in auto. Wipers are off. Taxi lights are off, of course. This one is in auto. This one's normal. This is normal, on, connected. This is a normal position as well. 12 o'clock on the select temperatures. I'm gonna go with the packs on because now the APU is operating. Navigation light is on. We go here. We're gonna set the flight directors to on. Let's see if we have any altitude restrictions here. We have 11,000. Nothing really. Okay, so we're gonna set our cruise altitude, which is today is flight level 350. So we're gonna set 350 here. Heading for the departure 085. So we're gonna set 085 here. 085. The speed, I'm gonna do that later. The bottoms are not the same, right? No, they're not the same, but they share the same philosophy. So once you understand completely one airplane, I think it's very easy basically to mutate or transform yourself in a pilot of the other one, which is quite funny. Well, actually, all the companies, they have commonality in airplanes, right? Airbus, the 320 is very similar to the 330 and the 340 and so on. So if you understand one airplane, probably it's going to be really easy for you to adapt yourself to another model of the same brand. So we're going to go with traffic on. I'm going to go with the oxygen. I'm going to initiate the electronic flyback. All the switches are 12 o'clock position. Here we have to have 5 things: toga, flight director, no VSP, and TCAS off. We do like a C, like this, okay? The speed is in 0, altitude is perfect, the altimeter is perfect. We have 30 feet right now, and the airport elevation is 82 feet. So we are more or less inside the band. 1011, and here the heading is 285, and we check that with the unreliable magnetic compass.
Lining up and taking off, runway 09.
Now we go here, so this is an auto, left, off, parking brake off, RTO, all these switches are in off, and here we check 3 things, which is status, engines, and checklist. So we check status, is nothing there. We go to engines, there is no exceedance, otherwise we're gonna have a highlight box over there. And here we go to checklist, and what we do is we reset the checklist back to the original state, back to the beginning. Okay? So let's continue here. Parking brake is set, speed brake is down, or idle reverse, stow on the reverse, flap is up, fuel control switches are cut off, stabilizer trim in normal position, frequency is already set, this was it's in data, seatbelt goes to on. We select here weather plus turbulence, and this is the left system. Right now the bottom is depressed, so that means that the right system is in work. I'm operating the airplane from the left side, so we use the left system. Okay, so data link is connected as well, rudder is 0. This one is going to put 121.5, so we can hear the emergency frequency, which we usually do during the flight. And this one I'm going to set this one in above 2000 standby and left system, because of the same reason of the weather system. Do you have a pretty beefy PC? Do you earn a lot of money as a pilot? Well, you can win a lot, and you can also be in a miserable position. Depends of your company, of course, and the decision that you do in your life, I think. But I have some personal stuff in between. Like I have my personal business and things like that. So I can sustain like myself pretty okay. But I'm not millionaire for sure. Okay, guys, so now we are done with this. For the meantime, just to save some time, I'm just going to close the doors. And I'm going to start with the performance calculations. I'm going to move this one a little bit to the right side. Performance. So we have Phuket, runway 09, condition definitely is wet, as you can see, it's rainy outside. So we're going to set wet. Wind, right now the wind is calm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here to show keyboard, and I'm going to put -5, okay? I'm going to put -5 tailwind. Why we do that? Because the wind is calm. So you never know if it's going to be from the front, from the back, from the left, from the right. You don't know. So in order to be conservative, what Boeing says to you, be conservative. Try to put something that is actually against you, okay? So in this case, I'm going to put 5 knots of tailwind, okay? So when I hit here, puck, you said 5 knots of tailwind, okay? The QNH is 1011, the takeoff is 344.2, which is the same that we have here. Rating, I'm going to try to use takeoff 1. Let's see if we can do that, a reduction of 10%. Flap configuration, I'm going to go with optimum. Air conditioning is going to be on. Engine anti-ice with 24 degrees. There is no way that we need to use the anti-ice. So we put these ones to off. And the CG, we go here again to the payload. And we're going to see that the CG is 22%. So we calculate those numbers. No valid assumed temperatures found for this condition. That is perfect. That means that if you please put attention to this one, guys, okay? Right now I'm trying to ask for numbers with a reduction of 10% of my power, okay? That means takeoff -1. It's a reduction of the power in a 10%. Plus what I'm doing, I'm trying to make an assumed temperature method. That's why ATM,
crossing
assumed
2006, climbing
temperature
350 on the Revet 1 Alpha departure.
Okay, so assume temperature method. So basically what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to reduce the power at 10%, and plus I want to reduce a little bit more, trying to assume a temperature higher than the temperature that I have right now, which is 24 degrees. So that message that it was impossible to take assumed temperature methods, it means that we cannot reduce more than 10%. But the 10% is going to be sufficient to take off with this amount of weight. I know that, hopefully that makes sense to you guys. Sas, do you know how much a standard pilot earns? I don't work for Scandinavian. How much a standard pilot earns? Well, depends on the company, of course, but I think in Europe they are more or less in 7,000 euros. I don't really know, man, to be honest. I don't work in Europe, so I cannot really help you on that one. And I'm not going to tell you my salary as well, so don't even try it. That's a personal question. So now, okay, we go here to thrust limit page, and then we have takeoff 1. So we're going to select takeoff 1 here. You see that the takeoff power here is 95.1, and here we have 95.2, which is perfect, okay? Now we go to takeoff page, and flap is going to be 20. No assumed temperature. Takeoff is going to be 1. CG is going to be 22. I'm just copy and paste for everything that I'm seeing here. B1 is going to be 130, so we set 130 here. VR is going to be 145, and V2 is going to be 160, okay? So what we can do is to set 160 here on the NCP altitudes, the NCP speed window. I'm going to set LNAV and VNAV. Okay, now we're going to go to the next page, and we're going to see that the engine out acceleration is going to be 1,500 feet. I'm going to reduce the power at 1,500. I'm going to start to accelerate at 1,500 here. Just Google it. Average salary of a commercial pilot, 72,200 per year. That's a lot of money. Yeah, it is, man. Yeah, it is. It can be a lot of money. But at the same time, as I told you, this industry can be like this, or you can be down. Right now, a lot of pilots are here right now. They're losing their jobs and everything. So the situation, it can be complex. So you always have to have a plan B. That's my humble advice to you if you decide to become a pilot. Always have a plan B. I have a business in my country, so luckily I can be without work for a couple of months without fly. It's okay for me. Okay, so perfect. So now we have everything here. Now we go to I forgot to do that. We go to approach and we said flaps 30 161 30 161. That's perfect. Okay, so now we're gonna do a little briefing, shall we? So taxi, we are in stand 31, so pushback is going to be facing to the north. We're going to taxi via, and we're going to do something like this, guys. We are here, and we're going to taxi here. Taxi 1, Tango 1, Papa, Alpha, runway 09. It's pretty much straightforward, okay? For the emergency briefing, before 80 knots, we stop for any relevant reason. Between 80 knots and approaching V1, we're going to stop for 4 reasons, which is engine failure, fire, predicting wind shear, aircraft unsafe, or unable to fly. In that condition, I will say stop, and my action is going to be close the thrust lever, disconnect the auto throttle, maximal reverse, speed brake up. I will monitor the acceleration or RTU operation, or maximum manual braking actually. At 60 knots, I will start to reduce the power. I'm going to stop the airplane. With the airplane to stop, I'm going to set the parking brake. I'm going to make a PA, attention crew station. The other pilot is going to check my actions. So he's going to call for any emission. He will check for speed brake up, reverse green. He will monitor the acceleration. He will call out for the 60 knots. And after that, he will call the TC. We're stopping on the runway. Okay? When we are stopped, we deal with the emergency that we have. Memory items, no normal checklist. If we need to evacuate, we take a big breath of air to relax ourselves. We assess the situation with the tower, with the fire brigade, even with the cabin crew. And if we need to evacuate, we do it with the evacuation paper checklist in the back part of the QRH. If the decision is to continue, I will say go. No action below 400 feet. Exception, cancel any outer warnings. Positive rate, gear up. At 400 feet, we assess the situation with the engines. We perform memory items if we have enough. If not, we continue up to 1,500 feet. And here, basically, we have flight terrain. We can continue all the way into the ocean here. Follow the SID. At 1,500 feet, we start to accelerate. We clean the airplane. When airplane is clean, I'm going to set the flight level change, maximum continuous thrust, VNAV engine out, and we're going to continue with the normal checklist. And after that, we're going to continue with the after takeoff checklist. And we're going to decide which one is going to be the burst course of action. Right now, the wind is calm, so we can come back for the ILS runway 27 without any problem, or a nav approach runway 09, depending on the wind. Okay, for the normal SID, I'm expecting the Reved 1 Alpha departure. The chart is the 10-3, 22 of March 2019, effective from the 28th. Transition altitude is 11,000 feet, so we're going to set 11,000 feet here. And RNAV 1 is required, so we have RMP 1 right now. Actual navigation performance 0.05. GNS or DME area route required, radar required. Initial climb clearance is going to be 5,000. Further climb when instructed by ATC. So we're going to change that to 5,000 actually. If there is ATC, we keep this one in 5,000. If there's no ATC, we just continue climbing to flight level 350. Okay. Just give me 1 second, and I'm going to answer to you right away. I'm just like doing my briefing right now. Okay, just give me 1 second. I come back with you guys. It says like there's a note here: runway 09 closing obstacles, terrain 33, height 185 from the departure runway. The SID requires a minimum climb gradient of 6.1%, 371 per nautical mile until passing 11,000 feet. Oh, wow, that's a huge one. So let's say that we maintain, let's say like something between here, like 200 knots and 250 knots of ground speed. That means that we need more or less 1,500 feet per minute during our climb, which is more than enough. Lost communication, we have a procedure here that we need to follow, and that's it. So let's go with the routing, okay? So we're going to continue on the track 085 to Sierra Papa 001, maximum speed 270 knots, which is right over there. Then on we turn right on 179 for 13.2 miles to Sierra Papa 003, which is this one, maximum speed 270, 11,000 feet or above. And then we continue on the same track for 11.7 miles to position Revet, and then flight plan route. Okay, terrain basically it's not going to be a factor, but we have some MSA here. The MSA that we have here is 3,000 feet in this area, and we have 3,000 here between these 15 miles, and then we have 4,500 feet between the 25 miles, which is all this circle. Okay, so we should be more than enough. Okay, so 3,000 basically we have water all around. Weather consideration, a little bit of water, of course, during the departure. I'm gonna assess the situation with the weather radar, maybe some deviations, of course, in doing the route. And the fuel is 17.4, and the minimum fuel we set it was 12.4. So we are arriving with 5 tons extra fuel in Singapore, which is good. So that's it, guys. That's the briefing. So now we're going to start to check that everything is closed, and we are going to start with the pushback and startup procedure. So doors are closed. So now that the briefing is done, let's go with the checklist. So we have oxygen is tested 100%. Fly instruments, heading, altimeter, we have heading 285 and QNH 1011, and we are reading here 30 feet. Pre-flight checklist is complete. So now we're going to start to disconnect a few things from here. Let me transfer all the power to the APU first, because otherwise dark cockpit is not very fun in this stage of the airplane, this stage of the flight. So we're going to release the air. We're going to release the ground power as well. And we're going to release the chocks as well. I'm going to set the parking brake. Why the parking brake? It cannot be. Okay, I'm going to set this one again. And I'm just gonna ask for a pushback. And for the meantime, I'm just gonna pressurize the hydraulic. Usually what we do, we ask for clearance to the engineer, to the mechanic on the ground, with the ground personnel, to pressurize the hydraulics. Once we have the thumbs up, we start to pressurize. So we set these ones to auto. Now we have electrical power, and with APU, and this start to pressurize. That's what I wanted to show before, but now it's working. Okay, now we go with the fuel pumps. We go these ones to on. We go with the beacon on. We make a recall here to check all the failures or like something that is not in agreement. And here we need to have 5 things, which is the 4 engines and the TCAS off. I'm going to clear that message. I have a FMS message. I know what it is. It's the wind. I forgot to put the winds. I'm going to put the wind load. Okay, let's go for the questions. But also pays 100,000 for the training. I killed my passenger my last flight. When does the camber come back? Why you kill your passengers your last flight? Why, you make a hardline or something? When does the come back? Sadly for everybody, it's not going to come back. Probably a new prototype soon. We will see. I don't know. Hopefully, one day we will come back. So we're going to set nose to the right. So it's going to be this one. So I'm going to head this one, and I'm going to set the wind. And I'm going to remove the chokes. Okay, so now we have the winds, and I'm going to set this one to transponder. And the captain, the only thing that he does in this stage is to set the trim. So the trim for today is 6.3. So we set the trim here 6.3. So we release the parking brake. And one thing that I forgot while I was talking to you guys was checking the arrival time and the fuel. Right now it's 9:40, so we are arriving there at 11:05, which means 1 hour and 25 minutes of flight time. How much do we have here? We have 1 hour and 27, so that means that everything is accurate. And we are arriving with 7.3 tons of fuel, and the minimum fuel that we have is 12.4, so everything looks perfect, okay? So now that's complete, and we can do the before start checklist. Before start checklist, MCP. Oh, I hate this thing. Oh my god. Okay, there we go. So MCP, we have V2160, LNAV, VNAV, heading 085, altitude 5000. Takeoff speed, we have 130, 145, and 160. CDU pre-flight is complete. Trim is 6.3, is set. Taxi takeoff briefing is complete. Before start checklist complete. Okay, we're going to start shutting down the packs 1, 2, and 3, so we don't have any fumes inside the cockpit, and we go with engines 3 and 4, and we hit those run switches to run. Gonna go read. Okay, man, it was a pleasure to have you, of course. We're gonna be landing like in 1 more hour or something like that, so please enjoy and come back with us whenever you're ready. Okay, parking brake is set, so we set the parking brake. So engines are running. We go with engines 1 and 2. We hit this 1 and 2, and we hit this one to run. Gonna go airport here, so we have the movie map. And in this stage, you don't do anything. You just monitor the engines, the parameters, everything. And if something goes out of the ordinary, we're gonna have an ACAS message here. Okay, so we have running engines 1 and 2. So now we go here and we shut down the APU. We go with the packs 1 and 2 and 3 and on. We go here and we set the flaps to 20. And we open the flight control synoptic page, and we can say that it was a good engine start. Okay, so we wait for the flaps to go all the way down to 20. Okay, so we have flaps 20, so we go with the elevator. Full up, full down, neutral, full left, full right, neutral. We go with the rudder, full left, full right, neutral. Okay, perfect. So we go with engines, we do a recall, so we have TCAS off, and we go with the before start checklist. Engine anti-ice is in auto, recall is checked, flight controls are checked, ground equipment is just to be clear. Okay, before start checklist complete. We just wait there for the engineer to be out of the... Bye bye, my friend, take care. So we're gonna taxi to runway 09 via Tango, Papa, and Alpha. I'm gonna make a clock here, so I wait a little bit of at least. Okay. There is a NOTAM that the runway closed between the 22 and the 06. That is in the night, more or less. Okay, so now the engineer is disconnected and is moving away from the airplane. So we're gonna set the taxi light on and the wipers, and we're gonna make a call. Okay, traffic cargo look 705, heavy taxi to runway 09 via Tango 1, Papa, and Alpha. Okay. This taxi is so close that that I'm gonna make the takeoff review here. So I'm gonna go with weather now. So weather is connected, plus turbulence. So we're gonna make a takeoff review. So we have Toga Toga, LNAV, VNAV, Climb to 5,000 feet. Runway 09 without intersection. Flaps 20. Initial heading is 085 complete. Okay, we're gonna do the before takeoff checklist. Before takeoff checklist complete. Checklist complete. So we have flaps 20. Okay, perfect. Now that we have everything done, we're gonna start to move. Just a little bit of light rain, nothing much. And we have runway 09 identified with alpha, so I'm just gonna start to increase my range so I can start to visualize how is the weather around me. Okay, so runway 09, so we're gonna make a call. Phuket traffic, cargo loop 705, landing up and departing from runway 09. So we go with the lights on, we go with the strobe light on, and we go with the TA array, and we're gonna make a call to everybody in the back. Okay, that's great. So everything looks clear on both sides. Yeah. We just passed the line a little bit. We leave the line a little bit behind us, like in that turn. There. Now we turn. And then if I stop, you will see how was my lining up. You see? Almost with the line. Okay? Okay, guys. So let's go to Singapore, shall we? Take off, check thrust. Thrust ref. Thrust set. Hold. That basically means that the auto throttle system is not engaging again in the power. Now I release my hand from the throttles, and we rotate. Gear up. LNAV. Autopilot in command, and look at this beast. It's beautiful. We have some weather here on the left side and the right side of the departure. Just some green spots, so nothing to be worried about. The wiper can go off, otherwise I'm just gonna blow that thing into the sky. Saludos, Carlos. Mira cómo sube esa bestia. ¿Cómo está? ¿Y todo bien? So now we're leaving Phuket behind, and soon we're gonna start to move into the right side and basically to face all the way through the Strait of Malacca. So we go with flaps 10. Speed check flaps 10. And flaps 5. Speed check flaps 5. Flaps 1. Speed check flaps 1. and flaps up. Speed check, flaps up. Todo súper. Acá, para los que no saben, acá está la Fifi Island, donde filmaron la isla de Leonardo DiCaprio, así como unas playas paradisíacas, que se están como una de esas islas de por allá, si no me equivoco, de ser esa de por ahí. Well, for those who they are not familiar here with Thailand, this is the Fifi Island, right over there. Must be that one. I'm quite sure it is that one. And where the movie The Island it was filmed by Leonardo DiCaprio. So there's no OTC, so I'm just gonna put 350 on the altitude window, which is gonna be my cruise level. Not gonna be restricted to 5,000 feet, doesn't make any sense. And the flap is up, engine anti-ice is not needed, so we're gonna go with the after takeoff checklist, okay? So we have after takeoff checklist complete. Bravo. So now we are very close to Sierra Papa 002. We're gonna start to turn right to Sierra Papa 001, maximum speed 270 knots. Right now we have 260. I'm gonna intervene that to 250. Todo súper, qué bueno, me alegro amigo, me alegro que todo ande bien. So the transition altitude is 11,000 feet, so I'm still on the QNH. I can start to switch from QNH to standard altimeter. Let's say 1,000 feet below is more than acceptable. So I'm gonna put data here. So this point is 11,000 feet or above. Now we're turning right, so I'm gonna start to move the heading north to that point. A lot of people asking me like why you have to turn the heading north in Boeing, and there is no like a clear explanation why we have to do that. But Boeing, what I have heard is they say that with that practice, the pilot always know at which heading he's pointed. Can be, makes sense sometimes. There's a traffic over there, flying high, but flying north, so we are flying south, so it's no issues. Okay, 10,000 feet, we're gonna start to accelerate, and we're gonna cut these lights here, and we're gonna set the seatbelts in auto. So everybody can be released, and they can go for a pee time, you know, like, it's always good to pee when you want to. Now the airplane should turn to the right, perfect, it's turning to the right, okay. Let's see about the weather. That one actually looks like quite big, but actually it's not showing anything here. Anyway, we'll see. We will see. Vamos a ir viendo qué es lo que hay. Transitions at the standard set and cross check, passing flight level 115 now. So we have a standard setting right now. So we are flying to Sierra Papa 02, and now we're gonna fly to Sierra Papa 001, and finally to position Revet, which is right in front of us actually, in the same line. So we are leaving Thailand, and just gonna show you a little bit about our route that we're gonna do today. So this is the globe, okay, where we have Africa here. This is India. All this subcontinent is India, and now we are here in Thailand. So what we're going to do now is from Rebel, we're gonna fly Bravo 579 airway to position Dalam, which is actually the boundary between Thailand and Kuala Lumpur FIR. Okay. Kuala Lumpur is in charge of all this area, and after that we're gonna start to descend into Singapore, and very close to Singapore actually is when we're gonna have the transfer from Kuala Lumpur to Singapore. Okay. As additional information, we have CBDLC services are available with the login address of Whiskey Mike Foster Charlie in Kuala Lumpur FIR. Sadly here in the simulator in PMDG we don't have CBDLC, but it will be a nice feature actually to do it. You just connect, and basically what you have is some text messages between you as the airplane and the ATC. So you start to text each other like different kind of stuff, like routings, different altitude changes, confirmations of routes, whatever you need. So after position Revit, what we're going to do is to position Nutgut. Yeah. Altitude here is 3,100 feet, so there is no obstacles at all during the route. Nothing is red here, everything is green in terms of altitude. So if we need to descend, we just go directly to 10,000 feet in the event of a decompression. Okay, so let's talk about our alternatives for the meantime, guys. Okay, so we can start to kill some threats immediately. Always we have the opportunity to go back, in this case to Kuala Lumpur, right? Weather conditions was perfect there, a little bit of light rain, the wind was calm, good visibility, no issues at all. So if we have something, we just come back to Phuket initially. Then later on, during our route, we can consider this one, Langkawi, which is a pretty good airport. Langkawi, that is in Malaysia already. If you go to airport diagram, you will see that the runway is pretty long actually. It's 3,813 meters, more than enough to sustain the operation of this 747. Okay, so this is gonna be one of our alternatives today. Whiskey Mike Kilo Lima. Okay, later on we're gonna continue, and actually we consider this one as well, which is Penang. Okay, it's a small island in front of Malaysia as well, in the Strait of Malacca. If you go here and go airport diagram, you will see the runway is pretty good as well. You have 3,354 meters, again sufficiently enough to sustain the operation of the 747. This approach has ILS, so it's an amazing airport that you can actually divert in case of you need to. So this is gonna be our second alternative for today, which is Whiskey Mike Kilo Papa. Okay, further on we have our alternative, which is Kuala Lumpur, which is this one, Whiskey Mike Kilo Kilo. I'm gonna show you the airport diagram. We have a lot of runways here. This is a huge airport, and all the runways are you have ILS serviceable for all these runways. You have 4 kilometers of runway here, you have 4 kilometers of runway here as well, so there's no issues if we need to use Kuala Lumpur as an alternative. It actually is our alternate for the flight for today, so we're gonna set Kuala Lumpur as well. Whiskey Mike Kilo Kilo. Okay, perfect. So that says more or less our alternatives for today. I'm just gonna put this one in pink. So we have Langkawi, Penang, and then we have Kuala Lumpur. Tomorrow we're gonna fly from here, from Singapore, all the way to the capital of Indonesia, which is this one, Jakarta, Soekarno-Hatta Airport. Okay, that is for tomorrow, guys. It's gonna be a flight of 1 hour, more or less. Very similar to this one. Okay, so that is our route for today, guys. Let's see the turbulence, right? Turbulence is always is a big issue between the pilots. So right now we're gonna cruise at flight level 350. So we're gonna set flight level 350 here. Actually, there's no information for 35. It's 34. So we're gonna check 34. There is some turbulence. There is nothing there. Looks clear. No turbulence during the route, which is always something good. Now let's see if we have some icing in the route, which I don't think so. Yeah, we have some icing. The ice, it doesn't mean that it's gonna be cold. It means that you have ice floating around in the atmosphere, and of course that is associated with thunderstorms. So we have a couple of things here during the whole route at flight level 240, more or less, which is the altitude where we're passing right now. Lower. Okay, so at 14,000 feet is the base of the cloud layer, more or less, because accordingly to this, 14,000 there is nothing there. But between flight level 160, 180, and 210, and finally 240, you have some indications over there. So that means that most probably between 60,000 feet and above, you start to see these clouds, okay? But for the meantime, in the radar, we don't see anything. So, okay, perfect with the icing. Let's go and see the radar. The radar gives a good picture of what could possibly have during the route. Nothing there as well. Here, yeah, the same thing yesterday here in Kolkata. There was something, Bangladesh as well, but here there is no weather at all. Winds, let's see the winds. So winds, we're gonna have a little bit of headwind, which is this one as we are experiencing right now. At flight level 340 we need it. Yeah, definitely something there, maybe like 15 knots. It's perfect. This is 15 knots and minus 40 is gonna be the temperature at flight level 340. Okay, so it's basically the same that we have right now. Okay, so that's more or less the weather for our route, our alternatives that we're gonna have during the flight, and yeah, hopefully everything is gonna be smooth and perfect. So in order to increase our situational awareness, we're gonna set those ones here. My alternative, Victor Tango Sierra Papa, which is Phuket, I'm gonna set it here. Then I'm gonna set Langkawi, which is Whiskey Mike Kilo Lima. I'm gonna set as well Penang, which is Whiskey Mike Kilo Kilo Papa. And finally, Kuala Lumpur, Whiskey Mike Kilo Kilo, Kuala Lumpur. Okay, so now I have information of all these airports along the route. Okay, so I can visualize where they are. For example, right now we're gonna almost climb cruise out flight level 350, and you see that my next possible alternative is Langkawi at 40 miles away from it. So right now I can start to think about dispose the possibility to go back to Phuket. Okay. So we are at 32,000 feet and everything looks perfect right now. All these areas, they are like they are well famous for tourism and all this kind of stuff. You have very beautiful beaches here around. Nice food is super cheap. Definitely, the last couple of years has been an attraction for young tourists to come all these places to do the typical trip of the South Asia trip. You know, around Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines, etc. And all these beaches are very, very popular. You definitely, if you have the opportunity to come here, you're gonna have a great time. So I'm gonna set the vertical speed, vertical speed 1,500. We are almost 2,000 feet before level off. And we are almost 1,000 feet to level off, so we're going to start to reduce the vertical speed to 1,000 feet. So we have 1,000 feet to go. Alt, we're gonna connect the VNAV. So we have LNAV VNAV path. So we go here and we set this ones to be low. Okay, that's perfect. And now we're gonna do a short cruise briefing, guys, because there's no many things to talk about more. We already discussed everything during the climb. So first of all, we are flying in RVSM conditions, so we need to check our altimeters. So we check our altimeters at 35,000 feet and all the altimeters. So basically what we're doing here is to check the accuracy, right? Something more than 200 feet, it will mean that maybe one of our altimeters is not reading properly. So that means that we lost our RVSM conditions. Maybe we need to assess the situation, of course, depending on the failure. Okay. So for the meantime, 350 is reading all the altimeters, the two primary ones, the captain side, first officer side, and the standby, which is a different source, completely different source. So that's it for the RVSM. We supposed to check these altimeters every 1 hour to check the accuracy of them. Okay. For the cruise briefing, alternatives, we already discussed it. Okay. So we already know that we're gonna consider Langkawi. Later on, we're gonna consider Penang, and later on we can consider Kuala Lumpur, of course. And finally, we continue to our destination, which is Singapore. Decompression. If we have cabin altitude, the first action is gonna be protect ourselves with the oxygen mask. We establish quick communication. We check the cabin altitude and rate. It's uncontrollable. I will state emergency descent. My action is going to be flight level 100 on the altitude selector. Heading, in this case, I'm going to go to the right because we have the ocean on the right side, outside of the airways. I'm going to hit the flight level change bottom. I'm going to select the speed here. And I'm going to change from Mach to indicator airspeed. I'm going to close the thrust lever, and I'm going to start with the speed brake up, and when I start the descent. I'm going to make a second loop just to refine those selections. Okay. You're back. Perfect, man. Welcome again. For in case of an engine failure, I'm sorry, the other pilot, what is going to do? He's gonna release the oxygen mask by pressing this button here. He has to select that for 1 second, at least for 1 second. The landing lights and all the lights that we have here, he's gonna put these ones to on so we can be more visible to the traffic. He will come down here. He will set the seatbelts to on to notice everybody in the back. He's gonna set the squawk to 7,700 on the transponder. He's gonna declare the emergency, in this case in 122.8 and in the emergency frequency 121.5, and he's gonna join with the other pilot in the checklist. Okay. For the engine failure, if we have an engine failure, the first action we need to know is which one is going to be our altitude capability. So we're going to go here to VNAV page. We're going to go to here to VNAV engine out. Right now we're cruising at flight level 350. So we're going to hit VNAV engine out. And with this weight, we cannot maintain flight level 350. We have to descend because the airplane is not going to be the power that we are developing with 3 remaining engines is not going to be enough to maintain us flying at flight level 350. So we need to descend. In this case, we need to adopt an odd level in that direction. So we cannot take flight level 340. We have to take flight level 330. So 330 is going to be our altitude capability. So what I'm going to do is, first action, I'm going to come here. I'm going to see which is my altitude capability. Then I'm going to set it here in my MCP altitude window. Then I'm gonna come back again to the FMS and I'm gonna execute this order. Okay, I'm gonna execute to descend to flight level 330 with this speed. Okay, once I have done that, what is gonna happen here in my FMA or flight mode annunciator is this one, the speed is gonna change to thrust, because right now the airplane is gonna maintain a certain thrust instead of maintaining the speed. So that means that the engines, the three remaining engines are gonna accelerate to maximum continuous thrust. The LNAV is gonna stay there as long as I don't change the mode, like say for heading or whatever. And here the VNAV pad is gonna change to VNAV speed, because the VNAV navigation, the vertical navigation now is gonna be command to maintain a certain speed. Okay, so Right now, oh, I have some weather here, I know. Okay. So what is going to happen is the airplane is going to accelerate the power to maximum continuous thrust. So the airplane is going to start to descend, but very slowly, like maybe 300 feet per minute down, 200 feet per minute down. So we start with drift down procedure. We start to drift down to a certain level, in this case today, to flight level 330, where our airplane with 3 remaining engines can sustain the level flight. Okay? I hope that that makes sense to you guys, okay? Because that is a very basic stuff, okay? Perfect. So when we have said that, we start where we said, we change to the profile. I'm gonna erase this one. And then we perform the memory items on normal checklist once we have done all the drift down procedure, okay? This looks a little bit scary, so I think I will move a little bit to the left. How many miles to the left? Okay. Now, if you see here, guys, please pay attention to this. I'm gonna here to route, and here there is a option that says offset. Okay, I'm gonna offset from this track. I'm just gonna wait a little bit. I'm gonna wait if this thing is up to 20 miles, because as far as I can see, I'm just passing above everything. So we will see. Wait. But just to start to think about a deviation, let's see, left 50 miles to the left. Okay. Oh, I'm just gonna hit that little tip over there. Maybe left 20 miles is gonna do the work. Yeah, it looks better actually. I'm just gonna wait a little bit and we will see. Because eventually the other option is to go through here, but you don't want to go here unless you don't have another choice, because this corridor between these two cells, you have the possibility that this close together, and that is a big scary moment. Butter the landing. I will try, man. I will try. I don't give you my word, because the landings are sometimes very tricky. Nobody has the exact way or method to make a grease landing. Sometimes you do it, sometimes you don't. It's a matter of luck as well, I think. I'm just gonna reduce my range to 40 nautical miles. So now the presentation disappears, but we had to wait a couple of seconds because now the weather starts to swipe this weather in front of me again. Okay, this one is closing to 20 miles, but it's disappearing. How I know that it's disappearing? Because look, now it's yellow there. With another swipe, now it's green. Now it's green and some red over there. Now it's green again. So if it's green, it's still there, like 20 miles. But this one is definitely there. So okay, so I'm gonna start to move a little bit to the left. So I'm gonna go with a heading of 120 initially. So I'm gonna go with heading select, and I will start to move a little bit to the left. In this case, the wind is almost headwind right now. We have it right in front of us. So that's why I have this kind of turbulence, because let's say that this is my airplane and this is this wall that I have in front of me of clouds, right? And the wind comes from this direction. So the wind is gonna hit here, the cloud. He's gonna go up and he's gonna go here and it's gonna start to spin in the other side, right? So this, I'm right now here. So basically I'm in the spinning side of the wind. So that's of course produce some turbulence. So that's why this wind here is it's actually affecting me in the and to have a smooth ride. So I'm just gonna increase my turn a little bit, like 10 degrees more to the left, 110, in order to avoid the turbulence produced by this wind that is come from downdraft the this cell that I have here on my right side. Soy ultra fan de Boeing. Tengo una consulta. El avión cuando pasa VNAV-PAD, ¿qué significa? Lo veo siempre en el private feito, en Boeing, etcétera, etcétera. Sí, lo que es VNAV-PAD es básicamente que se está manteniendo un perfil de navegación vertical. Eso es como una especie de senda vertical. Eso significaría la traducción literal. Lo que significa que está en VNAV-PAD significa que si yo voy acá, mira, voy a borrar esto, erase. Si yo voy aquí a VNAV, el avión está en magenta 350, así que está activo ese nivel de crucero 350, que es el que estoy manteniendo ahora. Entonces el avión, mientras se mantenga en ese perfil de esa altitud, se va a mantener en VNAV-PAD. Después, durante el descenso, mira, voy aquí al X page. Aquí hay ciertas altitudes que hay que ir pasando. VOVAC a 10.000 pies superior, VOKIP a 6.000 pies superior, SANCO 4.000 pies superior, etcétera, etcétera. Lo que quiere decir eso es que a medida que yo voy volando estas restricciones de altitud, y mientras me mantenga en VNAV, el avión va a ir controlando el descenso para ir sobrepasando esas altitudes de restricción, ¿ok? Como esos escalones, esos peldaños, de hacer alguna forma. I'm gonna move a little bit now to 120. Se va a ir moviendo a medida que va haciendo de esos peldaños. Toda esa construcción del descenso se llama VNAV-PAD, ¿ok? Yeah, sorry man, there's some guys here, so I need to explain everything in Spanish as well. Entonces, básicamente es eso, ¿ok? No sé si se entendió eso mucho o no. Si no, me dices si te lo explico o no. So now I'm going to turn a little bit to heading 140. Now it's a little bit like more dense, and you can clearly see that it was just in the middle of a route. Yeah, there's people in Spanish, and I speak Spanish as well, so I can speak in both languages. So some people, they ask me things in English, some people they ask me things in Spanish, so I need to explain in different languages. Okay, now it's moving a little bit to the right, and definitely the major cell is in this area. So I'm just gonna continue this track. This is just showing green here, but most probably it's gonna disappear in a couple of miles more, and then I can track direct to any waypoint that I have in front of me. Ahora entiendo, gracias por la explicación. Now in English, they were asking me what's the difference, like what is actually the meaning of VNAV-PAD. VNAV-PAD basically means that the airplane is maintaining the vertical navigation, maintaining a certain vertical navigation that is already programmed in the FMS, okay? That is what it means, VNAV-PAD. So the airplane is gonna maintain, for example, right now we are in cruise, right? So we have VNAV-PAD, and that's why because we have our cruise level at flight level 350, and it's the same altitude that we have here in the VNAV in the cruise page, I'm sorry, okay? So as long as maintain 350, the airplane is gonna be in VNAV-PAD. Let's see, I'm gonna show you something, okay? Please let me know if you understand what I'm saying in English, otherwise I switch to Spanish. Ah, perfecto, entiendes perfecto. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to explain this in English, okay? So I'm going to make a test, okay? So let's say that I'm going to climb to 35,400 feet, okay? You see the warning? Because it's not in agreement with the altitude that I'm supposed to have, which is 350. So look what I'm going to do. I'm going to go with vertical speed. Now I have vertical speed in a box, and I'm going to start to climb to engage this 35,400 feet. Look, vertical speed. For the meantime, guys, just to maintain my navigation, I'm gonna fly to this point, Latuk, and confirm. Okay. So now I'm gonna change the LNAV. Okay. I just changed the lateral navigation, not the vertical navigation, okay? So look what happens. I'm going to put the vertical speed at 500 feet per minute climb to reach 35,400 feet. Look what is going to happen. look what is going to happen when I press VNAV again, okay? Remember that the VNAV path is to maintain flight level 350, okay? Something different, the VNAV is going to behave differently, okay? Now we have alt, okay? So we have engaged the altitude that we have pre-select here, 35,400 feet. Okay, perfect. Now I'm going to change to VNAV. Look what's going to happen. VNAV alt. Why? Because the airplane is not maintaining the path anymore, because the path is supposed to be at flight level 350, and right now I'm I'm maintaining 35,400 feet, which is not my path. It's something different. So the VNAV alt says like, the VNAV navigation actually says like, I don't know what the hell are you doing, but I'm just maintaining the altitude. The altitude that you put here is this one. Okay? So that's what the airplane is doing right now. Now let's do something different. I'm gonna put 350 again, and I'm gonna hit this bottom, and look what is gonna happen. I'm gonna push this knob. Okay? Now it's gonna change to thrust, VNAV speed. The airplane is gonna try to decelerate, and it's going to maintain the vertical navigation accordingly to the speed, which is speed Mach decimal 834, which is here. And what it's going to try to do? It's going to try to catch up flight level 350, which is the, again, book VNAV path. Okay? Complete. You understand that, please, guys? Let me know. Otherwise, I can do another explanation of this. Okay? Completely amazing. Perfect. Okay, so you are understanding. That's great. That's great. So that's more or less the difference, right? Okay? VNAV path is when basically the navigation of the vertical navigation of the airplane is already set in the FMS, and basically the autopilot system through the automatic through the navigation system is controlling the vertical navigation. That's it. It's very simple. It's not too complicated, but sometimes you need to see some stuff, you know, like. I hope that makes sense to you guys. If not, just let me know and we'll repeat it again, and I can explain to you with more detail, maybe another streaming, or maybe now if we have some time, so it's okay. Okay guys, so now we cross Avim Penang. So now in a few miles we're gonna have Kuala Lumpur here at the right side. So yeah, so oh, sorry, man. Sorry, I forgot. I was mute. I was saying that I'm gonna start with my briefing now. So definitely, you know what, you want to hear the briefing more than the music. Okay, so we're gonna start with the basic. The first thing that we do is to check the weather, right? So we go 122025, which is of course connected with active sky, so we can hear which are the conditions in Singapore.
Zulu, weather, wind 060 at 5, visibility 10,000, sky clear, temperature 2, 82.24, QNH 1011, advise an initial contact, you have information, Yankee.
Okay, 1011, that is set, perfect. So right now we have wind 060 with 5, we have 10 kilometers of visibility, we have sky clear 28 degrees, dew point 24, the QNH is 1011. Okay, great. So what are we going to do now? Yeah, I'm gonna put some music, but let me wait for the briefing. So what we're going to do now is first of all is to decide which runway we're gonna use. Okay, we have the wind right now is 060 with 5. So with that wind, definitely we can use runway 02 left for our arrival. Okay, and we're gonna go here to West Cargo Apron. So we are definitely in the best shape to use that runway. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're gonna calculate our landing weight. So right now here we are arriving to Singapore with 16.6 tons. Okay, so that's a lot of fuel. Now we go to init ref and we check our zero fuel weight, which is 311.9. So we have to add those two numbers, the 16.6, which is the arrival fuel, plus the zero fuel weight, in order to get our landing weight. So I'm gonna do the math on that again. I just want to do it with the calculator because I don't want to screw it up. Plus 16.6, so we have 328.5. Okay, so now that we know our landing weight, we go here to the approach reference page. Okay, here we have the actual gross weight, the actual weight of the airplane right now in this second. Right now we have 333.3 tons of weight. Okay, but our landing weight, because we're gonna reduce some fuel during the way into Singapore, is gonna be 328.5. So this is gonna be our landing weight. So we're gonna put this one here, and you're gonna see what is gonna happen with the VREF. Right now it's 30 for 30 degrees of flaps. We're gonna use a VREF of 158, but it's with this weight. We need to do it with this weight. So now we're gonna insert this one here, and it changed 1 knot. Now it's 30 degrees for flaps is 157. So 157 is gonna be our VREF 30 speed for flaps 30. Okay. So now that we have the landing weight, what we can do is to go here to the performance and to basically calculate our landing performance. How we do that? We go here to show landing, we go to show en route, and here we select the runway. So runway is going to be runway 02 left, we said, right? 02 left. Conditions is dry. Wind right now is 060 with 5, so we said 060 with 5. The outside temperature is pretty hot today, it's 28 degrees. The QNH is 1011. The landing weight 328,500. Okay, reverse configuration, I'm not going to use reverse, so it says no credit. Flap configuration, I'm going to use flap 30. Air conditioning, I'm going to set the air conditioning to on, of course. Engine anti-ice goes to off. Brakes, I'm going to use these ones to auto brakes in 3. And normal configuration, I'm going to use none. Complete. I'm going to calculate those numbers. Actually, you know what? I'm going to use auto brake 2 because the runway is super long. Okay? So this runway, as you can see here, is 4,000 meters long. It's pretty long runway, guys. Okay? So here, with these conditions, with the actual weather condition that we have right now in Singapore, plus the actual landing weight that we are estimating to arrive in Singapore, is going to give us 3,232 meters, and we had available 4 kilometers. So basically, we have 800 meters in spare. And even more, because these ones, I have told you before many times, these calculations, they have a factor of 50%. So they are increased in a 50% just to have some safety margins, right? So if for any reason I screwed up during my landing, I float too much runway, I started to float to try to make a grease landing, really beautiful, of course, for the passengers and for people who doesn't really know what is a good landing. They just qualify the landing for if it is smooth or not. Sometimes a good landing is a hard landing as well, guys, because sometimes you need to break to maintain to break and to basically to put some friction in the wheels when you have some water in the runway, for example. So anyway, so let's say if I screw my landing what is going to happen with this distance? Is going to be able to stop in 3,200 meters? Yes, because it's factorized by a 50%. Okay, so all these calculations, most probably I'm going to be stopped in the middle of the runway. Okay, because there is a factor of 50% just to increase the safety margins. Okay, I learned a new thing. For the next time, I will select the gross weight in the approach reference page. Yeah, one thing, you don't need to select the gross weight. What you need to do is to calculate your landing weight. And in order to do that, you have to go to here to progress page. You need to see which one is your fuel for the arrival, and then you add this fuel to the zero fuel weight. So zero fuel weight plus arrival weight means landing weight. Okay, just gonna write this one. Zero fuel weight, zero fuel weight plus fuel on arrival equals landing weight. Okay, that is the formula. Okay, guys, so this is gonna be my condition. So I'm gonna use auto brakes in 2. Flaps is gonna be on 30, and I'm gonna go with the flaps 30 and idle reverse. That's it, guys. Okay, so let's start with the briefing. Okay, give me 1 second. That's correct. So I will calculate the gross weight with those things. Yeah, perfect. Okay, guys. So let's start with the briefing, right? NOTAMs, there is one runway 02 right and 20 left is closed due to work in progress. It started from the 14th of April. So today we are at 16th of April. So it's closed, that runway. Okay. So let's go here to the taxi chart again. So this runway 02 right, which is this one, is completely closed. This runway, it doesn't work for us. Okay, anyway, we're gonna use runway 02 left, so it's okay. Perfect. Okay, arrival, we're gonna do the Arama 1 Alpha arrival, which is the chart 10-2, 22 of March 2019. Minimum safe altitude, we have a couple of areas here. We have 3,500 feet, and that's it. And that's around the airport, as you can see here. Okay. So altitude setting is going to be in hectopascals. Transition level is going to be for level 130. So we go to VNAV here. Next page. We go with forecast 130 set. Okay. So 130 is going to be transition level. Radar is required. RNAV 1 navigation specification. GNS required. So we have right now RMP 2 and navigation performance is actual navigation performance 0.06. So we are more than enough. In all the streams, I learned something new. That's good. So useful. Perfect, man. Thank you very much. It encouraged me to continue give you more tips. Okay, there we have the win. Okay, so what else? I was with the star. So there is a lost communication procedure in case that we need to. We're not gonna do that. So let's see the FMS. It says we're gonna fly to Arama. From Arama, we're gonna fly on track 147 for 41 miles to position BOVAC at 10,000 feet or above, maximum speed 220, which is there. Then we're going to track on 082 for 14 miles to position Bokip at 6,000 feet or above, which is there. Then we're going to continue on the same track for 9 miles to position Samco 190 knots as maximum and 4,000 feet or above. And then it says expect radar vectors for the ILS approach runway 02. And here, what we're going to do is we're going to transition for the ILS runway 02, which is the chart 11-1, 15th of November 2019. Minimum safe altitude, we have a couple of sectors here. We have 2,500 feet at the southwest, 3,400 feet at the northwest, and 1,900 feet at the east side of the airport. Airport elevation is 22 feet. ILS frequency is India Charlie Whiskey 110.9. So we check that one here in Navrat 110.9, and the final approach course is 023, which is there. Glide slope for cross check in position Anuma with 3,500 feet. Let's see if we have that one here. No, we don't have that one. Anuna, yeah, it's here. Anuna 3,500 feet, which is there. And minimums for this approach, cut 1. We have a decision altitude of 222 feet, which I'm going to set right now. 200. And we cannot put 222, so we go to the higher one. So in this case, 230 feet. Okay. In the case of a misapproach, we climb to 1,000 feet, which is there. 023, 1,000 feet. Then climbing left, turn to 4,000. Via heading 335, which is 335, 4,000, to Papa Uniform Radial 356 to Acoma, which is there, and hold or as directed by ATC. And Acoma, the holding pattern is 176 inbound with left turns. So we are holding 176 left turns and 1 minute left, which is perfect, 4,000 feet, which is there. We have some notes here. It says radar is required. 2 simultaneous approaches authorized with the runway 02 right and 02 center. Runway 02 right is closed, so we have only one possibility to have an simultaneous approach with runway 02 center. ILS DME co-located with the glide slope. Maritime vessels of variable height in water node on south of the runway. Okay. As you can see here, there is water here, so that means that there might be some ships here in the final approach, okay, from different heights, okay. That means obstacles, of course, that nobody has a count into the performance, of course. Where can I see if I intercept the localizer? I'm gonna show you that during the approach, okay. Let me know when we are approaching, and I will tell you the indication of the localizers, okay. I'm going to show you the indications. And then we have some notes here. It says, caution, Changi East runway 02 right is solely for use by the Republic of Singapore Air Force. Well, that runway is closed, so I don't care. All arrivals into Singapore will be issued instructions by ATC to maintain 180 until 4 miles from touchdown, and thereafter 150 till 4 nautical miles from the touchdown. Okay? So, in order to do that, what we're going to do is going to set Whiskey Sierra 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 Changi. Actually, you know what we need to do is I'm gonna select this one. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna put this one here. So it's Singapore, and we need to maintain 180 until 8 miles. So I'm gonna make a circle of 8 miles, and then I'm gonna make a circle to 150 to 4 miles. So slash 4 miles. So I have a circle around the airport. Okay. I have this doubt since I started to fly with Boeing aircraft. Sure, no worries. I will tell you how to check that one. Okay, so Arama. Then we have okay, Anuna 3,500. Then we have Akipo 2,500. Then we have Adnik at 1,500, which is there. And then finally to position Advon with 3-degree descent path to runway 02. This has a 3-degree path descent, as you can see here. We're gonna maintain 157 plus 5 is gonna be 162. So we're gonna be here more or less. So definitely we're gonna be around 900 feet minute 900 feet per minute down. more or less. We have ALS 2 for this approach. We have rail and we have PAPI on both sides of the runway. Okay, and we have cut 1. So we have a decision altitude of 222. We have 230 there, and the visibility that we need is this one for full lights. So we need an RVR of high 550, and we are a cut delta airplane, so we are good to go. Timings not authorized when the glide slope is an off, and there is some changes over there, which is I don't really care. Okay, as for the taxi, finally, we're gonna land on runway 02 left, and most probably I'm gonna vacate the runway via. I'm gonna show you this one is better. I'm gonna vacate the runway via Whiskey 5 or Whiskey 4, most probably. Let's say that we take off Whiskey 4. So what I'm gonna do is somewhere here between Whiskey 5 and Whiskey 4. We're gonna continue all the way through Whiskey Papa. Then what I'm going to do is I'm gonna turn here in Whiskey Victor 4, November 2, and these parking places are closed. That's why they are in red. I'm gonna park here in 505. Okay, so that's for our taxi. The landing is gonna be an ILS approach, so you're gonna do whole automation. Flap 30, auto brakes 2, idle reverse, flap 30. Weather considerations, nothing. Terrain is not a factor. Fuel, 16.7, we are arriving there. We have a lot of fuel actually, and the minimum fuel to divert is 12.4. Okay, that finish our briefing, guys. So I'll make a recall here, and I'm gonna do the descent checklist. So the checklist, we have recall is check, notes are check, auto brake is 2, landing direct ref minimums, we ref 30, 157, Baro 230, and approach briefing is complete. The descent checklist is completed. So now we're gonna start our descent pretty soon. We have Kuala Lumpur just in our right side, so Kuala Lumpur should be, actually that is the city right over there. Okay, I think I will make a shortcut and I'm gonna fly from here to position Arama, so we start immediately the there we go, Arama on the top. Reset the MCP altitude, okay, clear message. And the first altitude is gonna be 10,000 feet or above, so I'm gonna set 10,000 here. .10,000 feet is set, and I'm just gonna intervene the speed for the descent. I'm just gonna put Mach decimal 84 and with 300 knots, and I'm gonna execute this. I forgot to mention that at this airport is at sea level, so that means that we're gonna be completely configured at 1,500 feet, and we're gonna be fully stable at 1,000 feet. Okay, that is the minimum acceptable, 1,000 feet. I just put this minimum of 1,500 feet to be fully configured, just to avoid the threat to be unstable at 1,000 feet. So now we start the descent, and we fly to position Arama, and Arama maximum speed is 250 knots. So if we press here, so Arama 250 is right over there. Hello, hello. Okay, so you were asking about the VNAV pad. You will see that VNAV pad is still connected. I haven't touched anything. The only thing that I did, it was just to put this knob in a lower value, so when the airplane detects that it actually crossed the top of descent, it starts to descend automatically. You don't have to intervene, you don't have to do anything. As long as you maintain VNAV pad, if you maintain something that is lower here in terms of altitude, the airplane is gonna maintain all the vertical profile that you have programmed in your FMC. Okay. Everything is automatic. Everything is done by the system. You just need to monitor the automation and intervene in case you need to. Guys, I will come back in 1 second. I will go for something to drink, like a water or something like that. I'm dry. Come back in like less than 1 minute. Okay, back with you guys again. Sorry about that. It is incredible. I changed Airbus for Boeing and I don't regret it. You will never regret it, man. I flew Airbus 320 before in real life and it's a shit of airplane. But don't tell to anybody. No, I flew 320. Don't get me wrong, it's an amazing airplane, but it's complicated. It's not very pilot friendly, I would say. Boeing, different story. Boeing is amazing. Boeing is you can feel the airplane. You can actually it's more intuitive. It's more pilot friendly, I will say. Yeah, definitely Boeing for me is top of the notch of in terms of like from the pilot's perspective, of course. The best the airplane I have ever flown, the best one. I flew Airbus before for 4 years, 320, 319, 318, and then I passed more than 6 years flying 787 for 2 major companies in the world, and now I'm flying Gulfstream G500, and I can say that for all the airplanes that I have flown, Boeing is definitely the best one. Definitely the best one. Okay, so beautiful. All looks so green, amazing. Not even compared when we were in a couple of days ago in the Middle East, right? So now we are tracking over the water for our initial base turn for ILS runway 02 left. Okay, first thing that during the ILS approach is to check the NAVRADs, right? Our aids, our ILS. In this case, as you can see here, the ILS frequency is 110.9, so it's already tuned in the system. And also the final approach course, which is 023. And in a certain moment, the airplane is gonna ident this frequency. It's gonna ident India Charlie Whiskey. So it's gonna change this indication to India Charlie Whiskey. That means that the identification, the course mode, has been decoded by the navigation system of the airplane. So we are done. Everything is done. We just do the ILS, okay? And eventually, we're gonna have the ILS indication here. There are like white ticks over here, like white diamond here for the glide slope, and here for the localizer, okay? That's our ILS indications, okay? When I grew up, I hope I can fly an Airbus, but for the rest of my life, continue with Boeing. Yeah, hopefully you will understand. If you have the opportunity to fly both airplanes, you will see the difference. Definitely, you will see the difference. I flew both airplanes. I flew Airbus and I flew Boeing, and my heart is with Boeing. Yeah, I have to say it. It's like I didn't like the 320 too much, to be honest. It's not a friendly airplane. It's just like, it's kind of weird. It's a weird airplane. It's not friendly. I'm gonna put some lights here, so I'm just gonna put some lights here in the panel because it's getting dark. I'm trying to avoid the dark during these flights, but sometimes it's just almost impossible to do it. But it's still there. Okay, perfect. Nico, saludo, ¿cómo estáis? Tanto tiempo. Oh, nice. There is an ILS frequency. I didn't see it before. Yes, the ILS frequency, when you select the approach here for the ILS, this is going to be tuned here. You see that the NavRad page here, ILS frequency 110.9, is there. Because eventually, do you remember that you can hear the tone? Like the course mode? Well, that are actually letters, right? In our case, for the ILS, is India Charlie Whiskey. If you want to hear the code, be my guest, and you can do that. Beep, 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 beep. Something like that, okay? That is the course mode of India Charlie Whiskey. But the airplane do that for you in an automatic way. So when the airplane actually tune the ILS and start to hear the course, the Morse code of the ILS, and actually start to decode this frequency, it will put it for you right over there. Okay, so it's gonna turn to ILS 110.9. It's gonna change to India Charlie Whiskey. Okay, todo bien por acá. ¿Y tú qué tal va el vuelo? Hasta aquí vamos tranquilo, arriba del mar. Próximo a meternos en base para la pista 02 izquierda. Todo impecable. ¿Ustedes cómo han estado, chiquillos? ¿Todo bien? Singapore traffic, cargo looks 705 heavy, passing flight level 155, descending to 10,000 feet on the Arama 1 Alpha arrival for the ILS runway 02 left. So now we are flying to position Bovac, 10,000 feet, maximum speed 220. Tower is connected. So we have an FMC message, track required, okay, clear message. There is a restriction in position Bovac of maximum 220 knots. To be honest, guys, there is no traffic, and all the restriction is just because to maintain a certain amount of traffic. So most probably I'm not gonna maintain 220. I'm gonna try to maintain something higher, because otherwise I'm gonna be stuck for almost like 30 miles at 220 knots, which is like for no reason, right? Like I'm gonna fly super slow for nothing. So I don't wanna do that. In my opinion, I feel Airbus thinks like the pilot is dumb. If you are not an expert, you will not land good. The airplane. Well, yes and no. Give me 1 second. Set Queen H 1011. Set and check passing 12,300 feet now. So we're gonna go with the approach checklist. Altimeters 1011. Set and check. Approach checklist is complete. Yeah, pilot. Well, it's not like Airbus thinks that the pilot is dumb. It's just like, I think in some kind of way, it was an airplane more designed by engineers than pilots. So it's not very. How is the word? It's like, it's not easy to understand. It's not easy to digest. Maybe is the word as well. Especially during the course. When you understand it, it's okay. But at the beginning, it can be a really pain in the ass Airbus. Yeah, it's not what pilots we have done from the very beginning. For example, in a Cessna 172, you have two jokes, right? So you pull, and the other joke is pull as well. So you can see the joke is coming into your belly. So if for any reason you're flying with another pilot next to you, you will see how the other guy what he's doing with the joke. In Airbus, you don't see those kind of stuff. You know, like it's anti-natural for pilots who have been instructed for so many years flying with jokes and look at the thrust and everything. The thrust moves, so you can see if you have power, you don't have power. You know, this thing is just like fixed there. The side stick doesn't move. You know, like all the basic concept that we have as a pilot, they are already erased in our hard drives, and they say like, okay, we're gonna try to teach you a new way to fly. So there it is. You know, like that's the point.
Tower Qatar 206. Qatar 206, you wish the taxi to the cargo west area? Yes, we're west cargo, please.
Okay, 10,000 feet, so we go with the lights on.
Qatari 206, continue taxi Whiskey Papa to the north, Victor 3 to the west cargo area.
Whiskey Papa, Victor 3, Qatari 206.
I would like if I share the same thing that me. Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely, yeah. Speed Vinapad. Speed Vinapad. I'm not maintaining the restriction of 220 knots. I'm maintaining something higher because I don't want to maintain myself flying at 220 knots if I don't have any traffic in front of me. There's no point. Yes, I feel that it's not interacting like Boeing joke. No, definitely it's not. It's anti-normal. You know, you have been flying in your fly school with jokes and with thrust levers that you can move. You know, like the throttle in a Cessna, you move the throttle. You know, like you want more power, you put it up. You want less power, you put it back. In Airbus, the thing is fixed. It's there. You know, like it doesn't move, and so it's like, you know. But anyway, it's a good airplane. I'm not saying it's a bad airplane. I just like, if you ask me if you have to choose between Airbus or Boeing, I prefer 10,000 times Boeing. Speed Vinapad. So now 6,000, and then we continue to 4,000 feet. So I'm gonna go with thrust, file level change speed. Just gonna put 240. So now we pass VOPIP, we can continue to 4,000, Samco. And I'm gonna speed up to 250 knots. Actually, I'm gonna maintain 240. Look, this is what I'm telling you. Now it's India Charlie Whiskey, and this is indications of the localizer. This white thing, this white diamond here. It says that it's in the right, the localizer, and it makes sense because it's at the right of our path. You see? The glide slope doesn't come up yet, but it will come eventually, pretty soon. And also you can put here approach, And here you have the localizer, and the glide slope should come up in a couple of seconds more. There you go, the ILS. That is the ILS. That is the glide slope, and that is the localizer. Okay. I hope that answered your question. I'm gonna go with flaps 1. Speed check flaps 1, and I'm gonna start to reduce the speed. And now that we have both indications, we have India Charlie Whiskey, we have the localizer at the right side, the glide slope is a little bit above us, we're gonna set approach. And we have the localizer and glide slope arm. Espero que eso conteste tu pregunta, Daniel. And we go with flaps. No, we're gonna continue flaps 1. And flap 5. Speed check flaps 5. Speed, vertical speed. I'm just reducing the vertical speed just to maintain the localizer and glide slope. We have localizer capture. And now we have glide slope capture. And the misapproach altitude, as you can see here, is 4,000 feet. So we set 4,000 feet in our altitude window. Changi Tower, good afternoon. Cargo look 705, heavy on the ILS runway 02 left.
No contesta nunca, está bueno.
Dale, vale.
Cargo looks 705, hello sir, good evening. Continue approach 02 left.
Continue approach 02 left, cargo look 705. Okay, continue approach, and the restriction was to maintain 180 knots up to 8 miles from the touchdown. So that's what we're going to do, and that's why we have this green line here, this green arc that I did here, guys. Remember that I did here. Okay.
Se le olvidó algo.
Vale, le voy a decir.
Singapore Tower, speed bird 255, establishing the localizer runway 22.
Say again, please.
On the localizer, runway 22.
Oh, there's another
Speed
777 in
bird
my back.
255, hello sir, continue approach 02 center.
Continue.
Look at those boats here, guys. Amazing. That is the city at the left side. Beautiful approach, really beautiful approach. We have the runway just in front of us. So now we'll go with flaps 10, speed check flaps 10. And flaps 20, speed check flaps 20.
Cargo look 705, wind calm runway 02 left, clear to land.
Clear to land 02 left, cargo look 705 heavy, thanks. Okay, we're clear to land, wind is calm. And now we're maintaining 180 until 4 miles. So right now we have, we have 180 and 10 miles. Royal altimeter alive. Actually, that doesn't make any sense as DMS, so I'm just gonna continue with this one. So landing gear down, speed brake on, and I'm gonna open the checklist so we don't forget. And now we can reduce to maximum speed 150 to 4.
A clearance for repositioning from Changi to Seletar. Departure 02 and landing to 0 at Seletar. We are ready for push and start. Just a repositioning flight, no flight plan. Just a visual flight.
And now we're gonna go with flap 30, speed check flap 30.
Can you please file another flight plan for this flight?
Gonna be
You wish to
162.
make touch and goes?
And the minimum, the maximum speed is 150, so we are good. We're gonna maintain 162, so we forget about the
Do you still need
restrictions.
a flight plan? It's just a
So we have flap 30, landing gear down, speed brake is arm, landing checklist complete, checklist complete. And we are clear to land. The wing
321
is
negative,
calm.
I don't see the new one.
No, I did not file one. I'm asking you if you really need one. It's just a 4-minute flight.
Land
just
3, roll out and flare arm.
Okay, yeah, sure. Please send one.
Okay, I'm going with the
Do you want me
autopilot
to send
off.
one? Do I need one?
Flight director off.
Yeah, sure.
Auto throttle off.
Speedbird 255, wind calm runway 0 to center, clear to land.
Clear to land, 0255.
1000 stable.
We are clear to land to 02 left for speedbird 255.
0 to center.
255, runway 0 to center, clear to
I'll
land.
that 02 center.
Thai 202 request clearance to Suvarnabhumi.
Hello, Thai 202, clear to Suvarnabhumi Airport as filed via VMR 5, echo departure runway 0 to left, squawk
There is
0100.
a little bit of turbulence.
For 0100 Thai 202.
Check.
Convoy
Continue.
321, Echo 1 requesting push and start.
321, push and start is approved.
Push and start approved, thank you. 321.
Speed brake up. Reverse green. Now we're gonna change to taxi. That is whiskey 5. 60 knots. Manual braking. And we're gonna vacate next high-speed taxiway. I think it's gonna be this. This is gonna be whiskey 4. Whiskey 4, yeah it is. Tower, cargo look 705, vacating run with the Whiskey 4, and we would like to continue to the west cargo area.
Taxi to 509 on the west cargo area via Whiskey Papa to the north, Victor 3.
Whiskey Papa, Victor 3 to the north, 509, cargo look 705. Thank you, bye bye. Kalispera.
Kalispera.
It was Greek, definitely was Greek.
Tower Thai 202
Very strong
request
accent.
push and
Okay, so
start.
we're gonna take Whiskey
Thai 202,
Papa, which
start
is
and
this
push on
taxiway.
is approved.
And then in the next
Facing
one,
south.
we're gonna take Victor 3, and we're gonna go to 509, which is there. Okay.
Convoy 321, Echo 1.
Okay, now we're straight line, so we go with APU start.
Intersection departure.
Landing lights off. Strobe light goes to off.
Echo 7, taxi via
we
Romeo
go
2,
with,
Romeo
weather
3,
off.
Echo Papa, Echo 7,
Auto
report
brakes off. Flaps
Romeo
goes
2,
to off.
3, Echo Papa, Echo 7.
And
on
we set this one
point,
to
Charlie,
transponder. Yeah, I can barely see that one. Yeah, but it's there. I need to move this knob here so I can have more light here. That's perfect. Okay, great. Tick us off. Okay, we can clear that message. And welcome to Singapore, guys. Leg number 20, if I don't remember wrong. So this one is Victor 3. We're gonna turn right here to the right, and we're gonna park on 509. Okay, we go here to the right side. Los escenarios de Brasil, los que has volado son los de Pablo Ricardo. Sí, los de Pablo Ricardo. La gran mayoría de Pablo Ricardo. Excelente diseñador de escenario, muy bueno, espectacular calidad y súper amigable en cuanto a frame rates. Muy bueno. So now we're gonna remove the decision altitude, which we don't need anymore. This one can go to off as well. And this is the 508, and we are going to 509, which is this one, the next one, to the right.
Singapore Tower, speed 2.5, runway vacated via Echo 5 to West Apron.
Okay, 509 is right over here, so we're gonna turn off these taxi lights.
Speedbird 255, you wish also to go to the cargo?
West Apron, if possible.
Roger, sir, okay. Roger, continue taxi Echo Papa to the north to Papa November Charlie 3 and then gate Delta 34.
I don't see the marshal here.
Via Romeo, Papa, sorry,
Anyway.
Echo Papa, and then November to Delta 3.
Entonces son recomendables y vi sus escenarios y son geniales
Number
para
321,
sí,
Echo
son
7,
buenísimos.
Echo 4.
Anda y compra, son muy buenos.
321, Roger, wind is calm, runway 0 to center, clear for takeoff.
Clear takeoff 20 to Charlie, Echo 7, hold intersection 321, thank you.
Okay, so we are in the position, parking brake is set. Definitely this guy is somewhere over there, but I don't see it. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna put some light here, guys, so you can see what I'm doing. The APU is already running. We already have more than 3 minutes. You have to wait 3 minutes for the ground for the engines to cool off after the high thrust operation, of course, during the approach, in order to stabilize the core and all this kind of stuff. Those 3 minutes are already complete. So what I'm going to do is first to transfer the power into the APU. So now the power is transferred. The generators are offline, the main engine generators. So now we can shut down the engines 3, 4, 2, and 1. Okay. Now with this, we can go here to the overhead and we set these ones to off. The hydraulic pumps on demand, the fuel pumps, they go to off, all of them. Beacon, we just weigh less than 5% because otherwise we're gonna have enough power to suck someone inside the engine. Okay, so we have less than 5% now, so we go with the beacon off. And we go with the flight directors to off. We go with the traffic off, which is a button that you press. And then you go here and you set this one in standby. Okay? And we're going to leave this one in above. And now you can do the shutdown checklist.
Airborne turning left to join
So
left
shutdown
base,
checklist, parking
runway 0
brake
to
is set.
center.
Shutdown checklist is complete. Okay? I'm going to connect the wheel chocks. I'm going to connect the ground power. And I'm going to request for...
321, Roger. Continue on Unicum 122.8, leaving my airspace. Have a good flight, sir.
1228, Kalinita, 321.
Kalinita, sir. Bye.
Okay, so that was the flight for today, guys. Very easy flight from Phuket all the way to Singapore. We had ATC here, amazing approach, beautiful scenery that we have here in Singapore. Tomorrow we're gonna be departing from here from Singapore all the way to the capital of Indonesia, which is Jakarta. Very busy airport all the time. Hopefully with some bad weather around, so we can start to talk about some consideration that you're gonna have during bad weather, right? Today we had a couple of ones, not too much actually, but some few ones during the cruise. Yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you very much again for the support, and I see you tomorrow, guys, for the flight to Jakarta. 16 hours UTC, 16 UTC tomorrow. We depart from here from Singapore. If you are watching this and you want to make a nice flight, please join us. It's gonna be short, like 1 hour, 10 minutes maximum. So you are more than happy to join us. Thank you very much, guys, and I see you tomorrow. I'm now going to say everything in Spanish. Muchas gracias, amigos. Bueno, ese fue el vuelo de hoy día. Volamos desde Phuket hasta Singapur. El vuelo estuvo bastante entretenido con un poco de meteorología que tuvimos alrededor durante el crucero. Acá prácticamente el viento estaba calma, así que igual había un poco de turbulencia a pesar de todo eso, pero sin ningún problema. Pista 02 izquierda usamos para nuestro aterrizaje y mañana vamos a salir de acá a las 16 UTC, 16 UTC, 12 hora local de Chile, hacia Yakarta, la capital de Indonesia, donde es un aeropuerto que tiene 2 pistas paralelas, bastante tráfico, así que los invito mañana a unirse al streaming y que nos sigan en este vuelo que estamos haciendo alrededor del mundo con los amigos de Flights in Chile. Una vez, muchas gracias por la visita, por su apoyo, por sus consultas. Y nos estaríamos viendo mañana en una nueva entrega del canal de Carloncho. Que estén muy bien, amigos. Muchas gracias. Y nos estamos viendo mañana, si así Dios lo quiere. Que tengan muy bien. Cuídense, por favor.